This is probably the last bloom we'll see on this peace lily until we take it back outside. This thing is beautiful and is huge. Hello, family and friends. Today we're going to be doing some updates and we're going to be looking at some different pansies, some flowers that we used this year in the fall, a few clips that I guess you could call it lost footage that I found that I wanted to show earlier in the fall, and also there's going to be some updates and some pansy maintenance. Hope you enjoy. Now this one filled in nicely with the winter berries, scarlet red, and the matrix white. Now these pansies hold their petals longer than usual. I'll tell you what, we've done a little maintenance with those, pinching off the spent blooms, and the foliage is nice and healthy, and the petals are beautiful. Of course, there's plenty more to open up, and when we look at this, see a few spots of soil there. See that? That's when it's about to open. And look at the center. These pansies are gonna do really well in these pots because they sit in an area where they're getting 6 or more hours of sunlight, and they're gonna be beautiful through the winter. Now we when we did these pots a while back, they weren't this full, and the pansies here, even when they're finished, they still give you a fluffiness and a pure white that is very eye-catching. But being that I'm not going to be here for a while, I went ahead and pinched that one off. Now, these pots, we have these slender pots here, which are, they're like waist high, and they allow you some room to have something trailing. You can see us going to work here with the petals on the table there. Those are the spent blooms that we're just pinching off. Have to come through here with the blower anyway, so just blow those on off the table and keep it moving. Now these pots, these black pots are a match for the one that's out there by the street. And the funny thing about it is we didn't get them at the same time. Now the quarter lines, what we usually use in the center of these pots. This is from last spring. Matter of fact, last spring we had some these quarter lines here. That's what we usually use on the pots. We have some calabacoas and lobelia in there. Now this is one of our lost footage of what I wanted to show you earlier this fall. These are azaleas, and look at the freckles in there. Beautiful. Now that pink with those two different shades of pink and those freckles are absolutely fantastic. And for some reason, I don't know why I couldn't find this clip, but we're just looking at it now. And these are the Majestic Giants pansies and the zonal geraniums. They're just like, they require the same care as the other geraniums. It's just that they have that color going around the leaf. And on the outer perimeter, you have that yellow margin. Absolutely beautiful. So this was earlier in the fall. In the cottage garden, we put some color here to brighten things up. And back to the pots that we are looking at. Now this is how the pots looked from the beginning, with the red and white in the center, and we put, see how you have that pink and white on the outer edge of the petal. Then we have the solid white spaced out around the perimeter of the pot. And I knew they were going to fill in because they do good every year. And that's what we went with. I'm very happy with the way they turned out too. Absolutely beautiful. Nice and full in there. And this was the pots for Thanksgiving and Christmas. You can see that they're festive with the chrysanthemums in the back, the white pansies, and these. I mean, what's not to like about these? Absolutely beautiful with the pink that just fades into white on a couple of the petals, and on the red petals you have a pink that fades into a darker red toward the outside of the petal. This is ideal for the look that she was going for, and not to mention that yellow center. Beautiful. Now these fire pansies are going to be used somewhere else, along with the yellow with the blotch. Beautiful. Now when you look at the haul that we got with the red and white, well, I call them the peppermint pansy. They didn't have a tag with them. They look really nice in a big grouping like this. We'll be using these again. If I see these next year, I'm definitely using them, and we'll probably put them in a drift across the front of the house. Beautiful. Something about that red and white with that pink. Probably because it fades into white. I don't know, but it's absolutely fantastic. And this yellow is very nice. We've used several types of yellow. The pastel, canary, and more like a buttery yellow. And the royal purple. This one here has a velvety look to the petal. Look at that, how the sun hits that. So, and all of these have been cleaned up and ready to go. You got the yellows here, the white, and the purple. Just a handful of what was left after install, which you'll be seeing later on, along with these peppermints. And this was really a good year for these. The petals are huge, palm sized, and they hang on longer than usual. All of the pansies are this matrix orange, the blue, true blue, royal purple, and the white. All of these the petals showed off a lot longer than they usually do. And we have these blue here. These are the violas. Look at those dark veins in there going toward that yellow center. Beautiful. Kind of windy out here, but it is nice. And we got these violas here with different shades of blue and purple. And also the violas here with this yellow, this eye-catching yellow. And one thing about the violas, they require the same care tips as pansies, but there's just so many more blooms. They're just like pansies. The blooms are smaller, and there's a lot more of them. So we're going to be using these in different places to patch up some areas that have open space, and also where plants didn't make it. And when I was saying that they or have lasted longer than they usually do is, I mean, that they have been holding on to their blooms, and the time period between the bloom showing off to looking really wilty was a lot longer than usual, because these are beautiful. And we have the scarlet red over here with that yellow dot, the purple, the yellow, and look how that looks in front of that. Beautiful. That's a nice contrast there, and it really picks up that yellow center in that, and you can see how these look. Now the purple looks really good when the yellow is behind it. It really brings it out. And this lilac color, I wish I had gotten some more of these. These are beautiful. They have a soft color to them, and they really make an impact in your garden. Gives you some color without it being too dark or bold. And also, when we use our bold colors, we put those in the areas that are close to walkways and in pots on eye level and a lot of your focal points. Now, this red here, some of these red have a yellow center, and the other ones have that blotch going around and some going around the center of the flower. Now you can see where these yellows are used in this yard. And we had a little bit of snow, and these made it through the snow, but they're going to require a little bit of attention to perk up. So I'm going to go through and pull off these spent blooms. Now watch this. There's a few of them that I'm going to grab. Sometimes you can grab more than one at a time, but you have to be careful with that. Now watch this. Grab this whole area and the twist of the wrist, and the plant stays right where it is. These plants are sturdy and they are rooted in really good. And we got like an inch and a half of snow, or was it a half an inch? I'll just say we got a light dusting of snow for one night, and it was down for like a half a day and then melted. And these pansies are bouncing back. This is an old geranium that was in here, and I want to pull these up. I was debating on it because they look like they may come back, but as I checked the stem, they felt a little squishy. So we're just gonna be pulling those up. The geranium is one of our go-tos in the summertime because they are drought tolerant and they can really handle the heat. Now, right now in the through the winter, through the fall, winter, and early spring, we love the pansies. Now, see this geranium in this spot here behind the pansies. We could have went with the dianthus, but the geranium was the choice for that spot because it got a lot of heat in that area. So we put those there, and they did good. They did good. But for right now, they have done their season, so we pulled those on out to give the pansies more room to grow because that was root competition, and but it didn't seem to be bothering the pansy at all. So we're just gonna tuck this soil in, and looks like it works out nicely to where you have like an inch and a half all the way around the top of this, the top of the pot, getting out all of the leaves and just cleaning it up because this one is doing really good. You can see there's water down in the water tray at the bottom, so I won't be watering these today. And there's more petals opening up. Beautiful. This is my routine maintenance, deadheading with these because that encourages more blooms to open. And we've been fertilizing these like every other week. And you see I have this lip all the way around so that when I water, it just catches the water and it soaks right on down. That open spot right there, I know when we get back, this whole pot is going to be filled in with these. Look at that color. Beautiful. So right now, this is January, and these will make it into the mid-spring. Sometimes the late spring, depending on where you have them, where they're growing. If they're in a sunnier spot, then they're going to require more water. Now you see all of these spent blooms? I just grabbed them and just break them off. And this is where some good clean scissors can come in handy because you can get between these petals and just cut them back as low as possible. And look at that color. Beautiful. So you can tell the difference of the blooms that are spent. See how that looks? All three of those at one time. Now, if you have to use two hands to do that, me, I would advise using pruners or some scissors to get a good clean cut. I clean my scissors with alcohol, and you will see good results. Just pulling out these geraniums and opening the space to make room for the pansies. All the way around. This is complete. And we'll go to the next pot. You can see that there's a lot of spent blooms, and they're just coming right out. The temperatures have been getting down to the 30s at night, but for the past couple of days, they've been dropping down into like the mid 40s, and these flowers do really well. I don't have to worry about frost taking them out or anything like that. This is our cool mix with yellows and purples. We have a matrix yellow in there. Actually, this group of flowers is but when you have that yellow and purple together, I just call that a I call that a nice contrast. Now these yellows are showing off, and we're gonna get to a little maintenance on these later on. But look at them; they were under like an inch and a half of snow. And this pot here has a Dusty Miller in the center with those glowing violas. I wish I had the name tag, but next time I see them, I will check. But because they're a beautiful viola, and we have the Dusty Millers here with this yellow, and on the other side is blue. Got them spaced out because I know they're going to fill this pot in. And on this pot here, we have Creeping Jenny and Silver Falls trailing over the front. Got a mixture of these flowers here. And on this one, the Majestic Giant. But for now, we're going to do a little maintenance because these do need attention. We had a little bit of snow, like an inch and a half, but these will bounce back. They just needed a little attention. They'll be fine. Fertilize these every other week. And in the spot that they're sitting, they get anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. And then in the rest of the day, it's filtered sunlight. Now, when the fall is here, we have less leaves and they get a lot more sun. I like the mixture of colors that Janice picked out, and these are ideal for this location. You want to use pansies and violas through the fall and winter because you are going to get a lot of color with these. So far, so good. Now it's time to do a little deadheading, a little routine maintenance. Sometimes I grab three or four of them at a time. You got to be careful with that. Um, I'm going with one hand. You may need two hands to do that because, well, these are very sturdy plants, and you can see that they're just continuing to bloom. We're going to have even more than that after deadheading like this because that encourages them to just explode with color. Look down into this wheelbarrow. You can see that we've been really busy. Got us a couple handfuls of blooms, and that just completely rejuvenated the flowers. Give them plenty of sun and water, drainable soil, and fertilize every other week. And this is the results. If you like this content, hit the like button so that we know we're doing a good job, and hit the subscribe button so that you know when our videos are being posted. We welcome comments and questions. Let us know what you're doing with your pansies and violas. Enjoy your day.